Welcome to the Dream Diva podcast. I'm your host and dream medium, Keough. I deliver a masterclass in shamanic dreaming and intuitive dream interpretation. I want to help you break free of the past and empower your transformation now. We're here to learn from our dreams, and our dreams are our best teachers. So whether you remember your dreams or not, you'll receive inspirational guidance to help change your career, health, and relationships for the better. In this show, you'll discover the meaning behind your soul symbols and receive messages from your guides and spirit animals. You'll also learn how to have precognitive dreams and connect with your ancestors on the other side. The Dream Diva podcast starts now. Hi, everyone. In this episode, I use a powerful tool called dream tracking to prove my mermaid dreams have brought me an unexpected promise of a new love. I will also compare my shamanic mermaid experiences to the hit TV series Yellowstone, season 4, where Kayce, a white man, performs a Lakota Native American dream ritual called crying for a vision, and he receives a message from his animal spirit protector, the wolf. So Jacob, let's just start right there. Let's play that 1-minute video that I found of how to pronounce this Native American ritual called crying for a vision and how many other Native American tribes use it. It's about 1 minute.
Our people in South Dakota, the Lakota Nation, the Oglala Sioux people, they have ceremonies that deal with a young person going out and standing amongst nature to find out who they are. That ceremony is called a han-bi-lech-ia, where that young man or young woman will go out and stand upon a hill all by themselves way out in the middle of nature. And through that process, they come in contact with something greater than themselves, something more wonderful than themselves, soft, beautiful, amazing, even though they're all by themselves in the middle of nowhere. I myself have went out on that ceremony a number of times, and through that process I gain knowledge, I gain abilities to help and heal people, to guide people, to help them to understand life itself.
Fantastic. It's very reminiscent to me, many things that he said, and I'm going to teach how these shamanic encounters from animal spirit guides can help us make the right moral choices, regardless of our cultural identity or genetic background. So make sure that you ask me your dream question. You can call in live right now. You can start right now dialing 800-930-2819. And remember, you can watch this live on Facebook. Just go to Transformation Talk Radio to get the link, or my website, thedreamdiva.com. Follow me on Insta and Facebook at The Dream Diva, and you can watch the TV recording of this on my YouTube channel as well at Keough. So let's start our dream session and set the stage. Thank you, Rainbow Sun, Divine Will Be Done, to the north, south, west, east, above, below, and all the spaces in between. I close the door where darkness dwells, and so it is. All right, so in the last episode, I challenged myself to use my dreams to manifest a new dream man. And I thought that was pretty courageous of me and also pretty stupid. But then something happened after the last episode, between last Wednesday and this Wednesday. So that self-challenge, like I said, definitely freaked me out. But it also triggered me to make a connection between a recurring dream symbol. And it was of the red brick. It first showed up in 2019, in the man's red brick stone necklace from the last episode that I talked about, in the engagement dream of "Will you marry me?" And then a recent dream symbol that showed up 3 months ago, where I was given a mystery man's name written in white on a red brick wall. And, just to interpret that, I saw the connection of the brick and the man and the engagement or the new love. So I have to confess, weeks after having this mystery man dream on the red brick wall, I met the man. And this is how I know. I meet this man, and the first thing he says to me is, "Hi, I'm," and he tells me his name, the same name on the red brick wall. And I knew he was the man from this recent dream, and that this dream also told me that he was going to be the man that would light me back up again. Um, but and I've since run into him several times, but it wasn't until last week's episode where I had to go digging into my dream journal to dream track my mermaid dreams that I discovered that old dream from 3 years ago with the red brick symbol. So I'm thinking, oh my God, this is amazing. But I actually choked as well because he's not my type. And that's because I realized he's the marrying type. And so my problem begins. So now it's time for me to raise the question to myself, you know, can I rise to my potential of believing that I am the marrying type? And can I align with this dream guidance that I have total resistance about? What's that all about? Because really, when this all happened and I said, oh, he's so not my type, I realized that my type, well, is the type of guy that is from the other dream in the last episode, the asshole kind of guy who rejected me for my mermaid legs, I mean, what kind of guy rejects a mermaid? So, yeah, that's not cool, but that's the kind of guy I am attracted to. And so I think that, I thought back and I tried not to blame myself. I tried to apply self love. And I remembered an event that happened to me in Los Angeles when I was chefing for celebrities and I was working on a TV show, a movie, Jack Black's movie, Tenacious D Pick of Destiny. And the caterer who brought me on to do my sugar-free, gluten-free treats on set, became my friend. And he told me he used a modality that told of how certain personalities are attracted to each other. And he said, yeah, you're the type of personality that's attracted to the asshole kind of guy. And I was like, you're totally right. And you could blame this on daddy issues or father issues or your childhood. But really, when it comes down to it, I think it's my alpha personality, kind of thing that and I might have to ask myself now, can I get over this? Can I transform the type of guy that I'm attracted to? We will see. I think the answer lies in my dreams and using my tool of dream tracking. So we're going to get into this a little bit more because I want to just teach that dreams are like a treasure hunt. You must chase down the dream. You must pick up the clues that they leave behind, and you must take action on the dream guidance to manifest those dreams if those are the dreams that you want. And if you're here, I am, and I don't know about you, but I would expect that you'd be also searching for treasure, lost treasure, of self-love and acceptance. And what if that treasure finds you? Are you going to hold it in your hand? Or are you going to throw it back? I mean, I have to wonder, am I ready to raise to the level and take my dream medicine and honor these dreams that I've been having through the symbols of the red brick? So now, I'm going to teach, like, how do you find those answers? What should I do? What path should I take, kind of thing, if you're doing your own dream tracking? Because I'm assuming that you're either a healer, a light worker, a person who's interested in self-development, personal development, or spiritual development, and you're, looking for different modalities to learn and to grow by, this is one of the modalities using Celtic shamanism that will help you be your own self-guide. Of course, you can also go to shamanic practitioners, but Celtic shamanic dreaming practice is primarily used for soul retrieval. So, and this is what I have been doing all my life, and just recently really just started talking about. And let me just explain a little about the soul, if you don't already know. The reason we connect dreamings to soul retrieval is this. Your soul has 3 layers of energy: the 4th, 5th, and 6th chakra, or the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, which is your heart, your throat, your third eye area. The first layer being the 4th dimension, which is the heart, the first layer of the soul. And that's where dreams take place, in the 4th dimension, in the astral plane. I hope you're following along with me, because this is also when there's trauma, either present, past, or future. This is where, pieces of the soul go into the astral plane. They can be there to retrieve. And they mainly get there, let's be clear about this, through mostly broken promises of love. That is where we humans are easily most attacked and traumatized. So a lot of romantic misery can cause soul fracture, or the broken pieces to get strewn or go away and hide. And again, so it makes logical sense that we would use dreams to call back the soul, or Celtic shamanic journeying, which is very dreamlike in its practice, and bring those parts of ourself back home safely and through our own higher self-guidance. So if you've ever had a session with a shamanic practitioner, they'll ask you, what's wrong? What's ailing you, whether physically, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually? And then they'll perform a spiritual journey through meditation and drumming, and they'll use the intention of retrieving one lost part of your soul that is connected to this ailment that you may have. It may be also part of your exiled child, or your creative child within that is hiding somewhere, possibly on a moonbeam, or maybe that child is hiding with the sister you don't talk with anymore. Either way, they go on the journey. So this is why dreaming is an important modality to make us whole again. And you can dream also, you can do it in a trance state or a meditation as well, but it's very easy if you're just starting out to ask for the dream and let the dream and your higher self do the work. So I'll tell you a story. I went to a shamanic practitioner back in the early 2000s, and she did a journey for me and brought back a lifetime where I was a poor mother in a village during the medieval times, and I was attacked by the invading Vandals, and I wasn't able to move to save my own children, and I was forced to watch them die before me. I mean, at the time I heard this story that this shamanic practitioner brought back to me, I was in total denial. I understood the story symbolically, but I could not connect emotionally to the story. So for me at that time, there was no healing. But now I think I'm ready for it, and I'll tell you why. 20 years later, I realized that this story is spiritually connected to one of my struggle stories, which is the fact that I could never have children in this lifetime. I was born not able to have children, but I didn't discover this medical condition until it was too late. And I see that it cost me several marriage opportunities. It's a very kind of sad story because people make assumptions about me. Why am I single? Why don't I have kids? Oh, you must be an FBI agent. or you must be, lesbian, you must be, something else. And it's really funny how people project onto me because I don't fit inside their box. Um, so now, also not being physically able to have children is something that I've really not dealt with. I've put it in a box. There you go. So gotten put in a box. I put it in a box. And I want to talk a little bit about maybe having this soul loss, and calling it back. And I feel like, it has shaped my life and my ability to dream, and be childlike and teach people how to be creative and teach my students. And that's part of the blessing of maybe being forced to seek out children in another way. And that is a positive thing. But I will talk more about soul loss here from, Tom Cowan's book called Fire in the Head, Shamanism in the Celtic Spirit. And I'm paraphrasing, and he writes, there's a vast literature of shamanism. In the vast literature of shamanism, there are widespread stories of soul loss as a cause of sickness and depression. And the necessary journey of the shaman is to retrieve a lost soul and restore life back to that person. So again, I have experienced this many times through dreams, through healing modalities as well, but yet every time I've worked with a shamanic practitioner, I just feel, here's the point, that my work for myself is more potent. And that's why I'm here trying to share it with you. So to empower you to go on that journey and be guided by your own dreams. So, I also am drawn to the dreaming modalities because it is a really great way, especially if you do dream tracking, to increase your psychic talents and your spiritual talents in that area. Because in order to understand your life and to be guided properly, you have to understand that dreams arrange themselves by the future. They must be tracked in a dream journal. Remember, I forgot my dream from 3 years ago until I went digging for it. So you must become your own dream detective. And to illustrate this point, I think that we're going to compare your life, your dreams, and how they play out. Hopefully, you remember them, you're intending them, you're writing them down. And so we're just going to take, for instance, that you do have been remembering your dreams. They're very much like a TV series, and the way that writers' rooms, track stories and characters throughout seasons. They set up clues, they pay off, character arcs. You have to watch them in order. And that is very much how your dreams will play out, because your dreams will drop clues and you have to connect the dots and track through the dream journal. So I think that this is the best way for you to see that your life is meant to be, that your dreams are showing you your destiny. And many people say, oh, there's many different, millions of possibilities, and you can follow different paths and you make different choices. But here's the thing that I have learned from dream tracking for 35 years is that when I pray for guidance, my destiny shows up, and it's already been written in the dreams from years ago. And so you don't have to, you can let go of that burden of, what's the right thing to do. So remember that dream tracking is like finding your treasure, and you must use a dream journal or ponder these questions when you're tracking your dreams, because you're probably saying, well, what is actually tracking? You can ask the question to yourself, who am I in this dream? Am I the protagonist, or am I an observer? Am I younger? Am I older? Am I male, or am I female? Or am I a different culture in this dream? And then you can track recurring dreams, recurring motifs, recurring storylines, symbols, and characters. And ultimately, you want to continue this on a daily basis so that you can see these symbols or these connections pop up like I have and have an aha moment. And it's really beneficial when you do discover in your dream journal a piece of gold like the dream that I had had. So remember that perseverance pays. So can't have a quitting mindset. Oh, I didn't dream, I'm going to let go of it. Because dreams are your soul, your true emotional body. And so my question is, are you paying attention to it or are you ignoring it? Again, the clues must be collected, the symbols must be interpreted, and the dreams of the gift must be honored and acted upon or manifested through the creation of art or some symbolic ritual, as a way of communicating back with that dream energy, again, which is your soul talking to you, giving you messages and telling you about your emotions. And, there's all kinds of dreams, big and small. And there's still potency even in the small dreams or even snippets of dream or even a flash of an image or a feeling. Write it down and you will get more. So it's almost like, putting yourself to the test, or that your dreams are testing you to see how much you are paying attention. And I just want to say that treasure hunting runs in my family. I do have a cousin who found a famous treasure, ancient Chinese artifacts off the coast of Singapore. And can you imagine if a treasure hunter gave up? I mean, he almost got divorced, and his wife gave him an ultimatum and timeline. And, ultimately, he did find the treasure. And this is something that's been recorded, it's historical fact. And I feel like, if you look at your family, look at their behaviors, do you have role models to follow when it comes to um, following your dreams? That is really an important question to ask. Now, I'd like to do the mermaid reading, the card reading, because that is something also that you can track is what you've pulled for cards. That's like a an awake dream. So Jacob, for the last few minutes, let's do the mermaid reading. And I think that you could pull up the cards, the picture, and I will talk about them right now. So I pulled these cards for the audience on the idea of finding a new love. And I usually do a shuffle and I will split the cards into threes. The first card I pull is the past, and that was the mother healing card. The second card is the present, and that, of course, was dream big, which is not shocking to me because I always pull this card over and over again, no matter how much I shuffle that deck. The dream big card always comes up. And then thirdly is the future. And it was a beautiful card called Make a Wish. So now I'm going to go over what this card reading is, and then we'll take a short break. So the mother healing card is about not only healing your issues with your mother, who doesn't have issues with their mother, but I did have a friend that didn't have issues with her mother growing up, so I couldn't relate to her. Either way, it is about your inner female and bringing in the beauty, the strength, the purity, the nurturing parts of ourselves, which is the true female. So I think that we have a lot of mother healing issues from the past because we didn't have the pure energy of the mother on the planet. We had a lot of dark mother energy on the planet. And I think a lot of us have suffered from that dark energy coming through our mother and coming through other people. It's deception, it's the gaslighting, it's the betrayal, it's the broken promise, and it is the addiction. And that is dark mother. But so mother healing is something that is, let's say it's the shadow past of the inner self. And anybody, that can apply to anybody. And unfortunately, when you want to be in the light and feel good, the the shadow is going to rise up. But that is the past card. So let me move to the second card, which is the present, which is dream big. I cannot believe that that came up again so many times, like I said, but dream big. Of course, instantly you have a hit about that. What does that mean for you? But it also means to let go of the small part of you, which is connected to the first card, the mother issues, meaning what is it that you have to let go of that makes you small in order to be in your true self and your of course dream big, reach for the stars, you'll land on the moon kind of thing. But it's really about clear the past of the smallness and step into your true self and see yourself succeeding. See yourself closing your eyes for a second, even if it's for a few seconds. See yourself succeeding. And then you have just, done an act of self-love. And so in the present, so to have a new love in your life, you have to let go and imagine yourself with that new love and what that's like. And I'm sure that those of us trying to manifest our dreams probably need to spend more time affirming and doing creative visualization and some inner reflection of imagination and being there already. The third card was make a wish, and that's so apropos for the future, and to let it, make that wish, affirm it, and know that it's going to happen. And if you need to take steps to make that wish come true, you will receive guidance through your dreams, through synchronicities that repeat over and over again. So that way, you do have to be aware and engage in life in order to dream big. And so that is my reading for you. And I hope that that helps. When we come back after a short break, I'm just gonna talk about Yellowstone. It's sort of a spoil, it's not much of a spoiler alert, but I do talk about season 4, where Kayce goes into his crying for a vision and how that shamanic journey can be interpreted in our everyday lives. So see you in a few seconds. So we're back, and over the break, Jacob said, "So you worked on Pick of Destiny with Jack Black?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I did." And I'm going to tell the story. I actually, just Jacob is interested in telling it, hearing it, so I'll tell it. So here I am. Um, I connected with the caterer, and catering again is the biggest, one of the biggest things on a Hollywood film that has to go right and has to be good so that the production is good. And I had met this caterer, and he brought me on to do my sugar-free, gluten-free treats on set. And it was really fun because I would arrive on set and everybody on their walkie-talkie would be sugar-free's here, sugar-free's here. And then they would turn around and eat a donut. But it was really a super cool, laid-back film set, because of course it was all about Jack Black and his music. And there was a lot of cool people, again, on that crew. And at one point, the caterer had to leave and go to another Hollywood film, and the caterer on that film was replaced, and I lost my connection. And I'm at home, baking cookies, sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, but probably not vegan. And I was baking, chocolate chip cookies and in my kitchen, and suddenly, boom, there's Jack Black right in my aura. And I couldn't see him, but I knew he was there, and he was talking to me saying, "Come back to set." I was like, Jack Black wants me back at set. He is a total magician. If you've ever seen the movie Tenacious D, Pick of Destiny, you'll know why, because it's really the story of Jack Black. And I was like, how am I going to get back to set? But, I got back to set and finished out the whole run of that show, of that film shoot. And it was a super fun telepathic experience. I know Jack's a total magician, and he can't deny it. So there you go. It's part of being shamanic. It's part of being able to talk to the other side or to people telepathically. And I have to say that that particular experience with Jack Black was one of the strongest telepathic communications. And when I would see him on set, we would just nod to each other. That was, nothing needed to be spoken. I showed up and I did what he said, and it was fun. All right, so moving on. So Jacob, what do you think about that story? I mean, I
think
told it
that's
to you.
just
Huh?
incredible. I mean, I love Jack Black. I love that movie. And it's really
Really?
cool that you got to connect with him that way because,
Yeah.
I grew up listening to his music and yeah, that's really cool. Just thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, so super. I'm so glad that you asked. It is a very unique story. And I have seen him live in concert, which was really cool too.
I need to rub it in.
In Hollywood, and I'm totally gonna rub it in. Yeah, that was with Trainwreck, and I even had a T-shirt, Trainwreck T-shirt. Anyway, which is his band, right? You know that,
Yeah, yep.
of course. So yeah, a lot of magic in Hollywood. You'd be surprised. Here we go. So I'm back on Yellowstone, and I just thought it was really interesting to watch that episode. Of course, because Kayce, I don't know if you've seen Yellowstone. Jacob, have you watched Yellowstone? It's only a hit series on
I have
TV.
not yet.
Okay.
It's tucked away on the list though.
Okay. So I love it. It's so beautiful with the nature and the horses and the livestock and the stories, and the writing is so dramatic. And of course, it takes place in Montana, and there's a ranch that everybody wants a piece of, and that is being accused of being stealing the land from the Lakota. But Kayce here is the white man married to the Lakota wife, and he's finally ready for his healing. Like I wasn't ready, he's ready for this healing. And the Lakotas, the chairman and Mo, tell him it's time to do your crying for a vision, the han-bi-lech-ia. And they tell him, and he's like, I'm ready. And this is all because he has a spirit animal guide that shows up, 4 times. It's the wolf. And the wolf is a very interesting animal spirit guide because of its duality. It's not only, Kayce's protector, but it's also killing the livestock. And it's this duality of each of the man and the wolf keeping each other in check. And it's an interesting connection. But Kayce wants to know, why do I keep seeing the wolf? If the wolf wants to kill me and kill the livestock, why is it my protector? And of course, he's told, you must ask the wolf. And in order to do that, you must cry for a vision. And so he gets ready to do this. And he says, I don't really believe in this ritual. And of course, the Lakota chairman tells him, but Kayce, the ritual surely believes in you. Again, this is great because the writing is excellent, because it's telling us that the dream believes in us before we believe in the dream. So that is something to take with you from this podcast. And yet, we ultimately, if we're given a message, we must believe in it as well. And so opening up to that is part of this ritual. So Kayce's told that the only safe place is inside the prayer ties, out in the wilderness, and inside the prayer. It's the only place he'll be safe from bad spirits and maybe animals. So Kayce goes into this ritual up by himself for 4 days and 4 nights without food, without water, and relives his worst memories because he was in the military. And he suffers greatly in his manly way. He has suffered enough to cry for a vision, because he is told that the more you suffer, the more you cry, the better the vision, the clearer, the purer, the most significant. And it really reminded me of the shamanic experience I went through in Malibu in the Pacific Palisades with Howard Wills, and having that, crying clearing session, and then receiving the vision of the mermaid sighting, and then all the mermaid dreams that followed. So it's very, very similar. I'm not saying I want you to go out and cry, but this is just a story for you to ponder. And finally, in the vision, Kayce is he's visited by many bad spirits, if you will. And then he has a Lakota American woman appear dressed in Native dress. And Kayce says, "You're not real." But very wisely, the spirit guide, who is really the wolf in disguise as a female who looks just like his wife, says to him, "You see what you understand." This is very great writing from Native American lore, because it's a keen lesson in understanding our own dream and psychic visionary symbolism. We dream in what we understand. We see energy and symbology that we embody and embrace. And everyone's going to have different symbols. And even though we have universal symbols, snakes, tigers, we dream of car crashes, things like that. They're all symbolic. Universally, we can understand, the energies of them. But again, tracking your own dream symbolism is really important to getting to the gold, the alchemy of transformation of your soul, if that's what you're truly after. And that's definitely something that I'm truly after. So then the Lakota, dream woman, Native American woman, says to him, "It's time to go to the cliff," meaning the edge of death. And there Kayce sees two paths. He must make a choice. I won't spoil what happens, but this is the clear vision now that he receives. And like me, I definitely received guidance in my mermaid dreams to develop my creativity and go back to the ocean where I belong. And oddly enough, I moved to the beach, and I'm in the middle of the marsh and the marsh. And it is 3 years ago, I guess I intuited precognitively that I would be moving to the ocean. And that's where I am now doing my podcast as we speak. I followed the destiny. So it's like a spiritual initiation of making your choices on your own. Spirit guides, through shamanic journeying, through the Celtic shamanic traditions, they will guide you just like they do in Kayce's in the TV series. She says, "I can't help you make the choice, but I will guide your path." And that is very much, if you're ever feeling that you've got a fork in the road and you need to make a decision, and you ask your dreams, but the dreams don't tell you exactly what to do, 99 out of 100 times are not. They're going to give you ambiguous situations and conclusions. And ultimately, it's you being able to discern and making the moral choice yourself. And that is spiritual maturity, and that will be rewarded. And that's where dreams help you, because if you do the tracking and the contemplation, you will make the right choice. So that is something to think about. I really loved that episode. It's hard also not to notice that when Kayce wakes up from his vision, Mo, he's a Native American, is waiting there for Kayce. And there's a cloud in the sky. It's daytime, and the cloud is in the shape of a horse. This is a clue for a future episode, which I won't give away. But Kayce also learns at this moment that the wolf is his spirit guide because Kayce is part wolf in his heart. That's what the Lakota Native American tells him. And that is true. So it's interesting to embody. So the guides that come to you, the symbols that come to you, this is what's in your heart. And it is very much those symbols that will help you face your fears. And like I faced my fears, you know, on a daily basis, but most like a huge fear out in Maui, my fear of a subconscious fear of drowning that I did not know I have that surfaced once I was there. That was something that happened on a need to know basis. And that also can confuse people on a spiritual path trying to develop their dreams and their psychic abilities and do dream journeying and journaling, and why you don't always get the answers and why you can't always be psychic, because sometimes you must, well, all the time you must trust. That's the key here. You must trust that things come to you on a need to know basis. I'll also, you know, revisit back my mermaid dream from the last episode about trust, because something came up for me just now about trust. I don't regret anything about that dream or that experience in my life. It was destiny, because what the mother had told me in that dream was avoid construction. Now, back then, I didn't really know what it meant until about, you know, maybe a year later when I was driving home. There was only one way to get home on this one road, and there was construction and I wasn't thinking about it. And suddenly a backhoe almost hit my car, and then it hit me. My experiences along the way with men that I'm attracted to, like that man, was unavoidable. And again, it flips me around. I don't know if Jacob realizes it, but again, when I did a dream interpretation for Jacob, many times in our dreams, the opposite is true. For example, I could not avoid, even though I got the message, avoid construction, the joke was on me. The whole thing was unavoidable, and I embrace it as destiny. I trust everything that happened, and I'm so grateful for the learning experiences, and you know, forgive everything, because again, forgiveness is the key to life. And I'll just finish on Jacob. You know, remember it was the blind babushka. You were told not to pay attention to it.
Yep, that's right.
Right. And then actually the way I interpreted it was only through my own lived experiences that paying attention. So the opposite was actually true for you. So here we go. So thank you so much for sticking around to listen to my podcast today and unlocking your dream power with me. Remember that you can listen on Transformation Talk Radio or go to thedreamdiva.com or all of my social media. And if you'd like to connect, you can email me, info@thedreamdiva.com, or book a session on my website. So remember to use your dream journals and do dream tracking by writing down your dreams every day in your dream journal. That's all for today, and see you next week on The Dream Diva. Thank you for listening to the Dream Diva podcast with me, Kelly Keough. Try to remember your dreams tonight, and don't forget to write them down. My masterclass in shamanic dreaming and intuitive dream interpretation will help you break free of the past and empower your transformation now. Whether you remember your dreams or not, you'll receive inspirational guidance to help change your career, health, and relationships. We'll explore messages from your soul symbols and spirit guides, and we'll also develop your higher sensory perception. To book an intuitive reading with me, visit thedreamdiva.com. The Dream Diva podcast airs every Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio.